Now to an Eyewitness News exclusive. Tomorrow, of course, marks 24 years since the September 11th terror attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people. Over the years, we have heard countless stories of loss, survival, resilience, and hope. But few have heard the story of Erik Ronningen. He is believed to be the last person to escape the South Tower alive, just seconds before it collapsed. Erik Ronningen was on the 71st floor of the North Tower the morning of September 11, 2001. It was supposed to be a very special day as he was awaiting a promotion.
I was a consultant for 5 years, and this morning at 9 a.m. I was meeting with the executive director, which is the equivalent of a president of a corporation, and the director of security to become an employee with all the benefits that entails. And today was a good day for me. And the time is 8:46, and the tower just exploded above my head.
Erik was about 20 floors below the impact zone where American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower.
My immediate thought was that an airliner had somehow, inexplicably, flown into the top of those towers.
But you thought that?
I thought that. I did. And from all around the floor, which were about 1 acres of floors, there was yelling for everybody to evacuate the towers. Now, I had just finished a 20-ounce cup of coffee, and I knew it was going to be a long day. So I took care of business, came back to my desk. There was only one person left, which was a consultant, Whitney. And Whitney suggested, let's do a walk around before we go down the stairs.
Before leaving, they made sure everyone on their floor was safe, then joined a crowd making a slow hour-long descent down 71 flights of stairs. They struggled through fumes from jet fuel and had to step aside for first responders to make their way up. Once outside, Erik saw that the South Tower was also struck by an airplane. Despite the danger, he still went inside to help a friend at the Security Command Center, but debris, flooded floors, and damage made it impossible.
As I'm walking through that lobby, I could hear a low-throated, groaning, grinding, moaning sound somewhere within the bowels of the tower. I was too exhausted to consider what it was. I left the South Tower, walked through the mall, went up the escalator, which wasn't working, of course, walked up and exited on Church Street on the east side of the towers, and discovered thousands of people gawking up at the towers.
A little voice in his head told him to move east, just paces before the South Tower collapsed.
And for an instant, just an instant, there was that little fear. And in the same instant, I said, where can you run to escape a quarter-mile-high building falling down on you? And I was totally at peace. And I just watched it come down. Now, at the same time, those thousands of people went into a panic, into a stampede. And for some reason, I knew you did not want to get caught in a stampede.
While trying to reach a friend's apartment, he had learned that the North Tower, his office, had also collapsed.
Someone yelled out of their apartment window, "Did you know the North Tower came down?" I said, no.
And of course that's catastrophic. That is your office on the 71st floor of the North Tower, and I understand you lost a lot of friends that day.
I lost over 4 dozen. My best friend, plus a lot of friends and colleagues, yes. Yeah, their names are repeated every September 11th down at the World Trade Center site.
He says documenting his story and those of other survivors in his award-winning book, From the Inside Out, has been therapeutic.
It was an interesting day. These are all the wrong adjectives, but I call it a fascinating day. It's not a day I would have signed up for, Brian, but it's a day that, having survived it and the opportunities it's given me, I wouldn't have missed it for anything.
I wouldn't have missed it for anything. I was so moved by this interview today. And today, Eric, he travels the whole country sharing his experience, including right here in the Central Valley. You might have noticed during that interview a lot of movement happening around Eric. That is because they are setting up for the ceremony, the memorial there tomorrow in Clovis. Eric will serve as the keynote speaker at tomorrow's remembrance ceremony at the California 9/11 Memorial in Clovis. That ceremony begins tomorrow morning at 8:30 if you would like to hear his story in person. Of course, we're also going to have a crew there with coverage that begins at noon right here on CBS 47.
Oh, what an experience to live through.
And such a nice guy. And sadly, he lost his wife just a few years later to cancer. And it's just, he's been through so much and still has such a positive attitude.
Yeah, which is good. That can be key.
Yeah.
Coming up here on Eyewitness News at 6, the